Konbanwa, good evening, chefs. It is I, Logan the Mad Titan, and we are here today with what I will call a mystery recipe. Maybe you can name it. Maybe you can tell me what it is. So, trying to go to sleep the other night, and I'm start having all these ideas. I had bought some peppers, some beautiful peppers. I had a red pepper, a yellow pepper, an orange pepper. I had a Cubellan, Cuban, Ellen, Cubellan. I don't know how to say a pepper because all the green peppers looked terrible. I have some celery, some carrots, some onion. So I was like, I wanted to make a sauce. I'm going to make a sauce out of the different ingredients that I have. So like I said, we have some onions all chopped up, some celery, some carrots. Over here we have some roasted some roasted garlic. I roasted it myself. We have some chipotle peppers, and that's the Cuban Ella pepper. A little spice blend. Here, spices, we got pepper, cayenne pepper, smoked paprika, crushed red pepper, turmeric, oregano, rosemary, thyme. Very Italian. I roasted the peppers as well, so it's kind of hard to tell, but we have orange, yellow, red, all roasted, peeled, seeded. 2 cans of diced tomatoes. You can do fresh tomatoes as well. And I'm going to show you some other mystery ingredients for the second part of this. Is all for the sauce. But we do have, what's that? What's that over here? What is that? And we also have, some other mystery ingredients. Yeah. And we also have a mystery piece of equipment. And the oil, I got the oil going. It's all nice and hot. So this is some olive oil. And this is actually the olive oil from one of the mystery ingredients. Because why waste it? So I'm going to take the olive oil from that to start sauteing the vegetables. And that's what we're going to start with. So we might as well start with the carrots. I'm recording with the tablet this time instead of the phone because I have more time, and since I'm so long-winded, it's a little bit weird using the tablet. So there we go. So what do we have here? We have the all the mise en place was done. So we have the mirepoix, the onions, the carrots, the celery, and we also have the holy trinity technically as well because we have peppers. So peppers is normally the onions, carrots, and peppers. So we're going to call this the magical quadrinity. That's what we'll call it. So we'll come back and we'll talk about what's in here and what's going on with these other couple ingredients that are not going in there. But first things first, I need to saute these and make them soft. And we'll pop back in a little bit when that part is done. And we'll add in some of the other ingredients and then turn this into a sauce with the help of Mr. Blender over here. Alright, so while that is still cooking over here, waiting for the carrots, the onions, the celery to start softening up a little bit, we can come back over here and talk about some other things. So like I said, I did roast garlic and I did roast peppers. Pretty easy to do. You just clean the pepper, put it on a baking tray in the oven. You go like 400, 450. I did 400. I checked every 10 minutes, just sort of rotating the pepper. The garlic, you peel off not all of the skin, but most of the skin on the outside. Cut it in half, slather it with some olive oil, and pop that in there with some tin foil, aluminum foil on top, so that way it ends up getting this really nice roasted brown color. When they're all done, you can pull them out. The skin will peel off. I cut them into nice slices. You can buy this from the store, I think. I don't know. Why buy it when you can do it yourself, though? So I just wanted some, 3 different nice colors. I ended up putting the tomatoes in here as well, just to get some liquid in there. And I did half a cup of water, just again so we could get those going. We will be adding some tomato paste and some Parmesan cheese. So did you figure out what this mystery meat is? This is human flesh. You got it. Oh yeah, human flesh. Strange meat, as we call it in the Fallout universe. No, it's salmon. This is some salmon, which I did a very light marinade with some real lime juice, and just to kind of keep with the theme of Chipotle. I don't know why you can't get that. The lighting's not, I guess, the best over here. Just coat it in that for a couple hours. Let that go. We're going to put that in the oven, wrapped in tin foil for just probably like 10 minutes. Salmon does not take long to cook. How about this mystery ingredient? It looks like meat. It is not meat, but it looks like meat. I'll give you a hint, though. To talk about waste. All right, so talk about... I always like to try to use the least amount of things as possible. I did need to use a bowl. The bowl and the lid is when you take the roasted peppers out, you have to put them in somewhere where they can steam, so that way the skin becomes loose, so you can peel the skin off. So put it in this bowl with the lid, and that's how we were able to do that. The couple little takeout containers that I used to put the mise en place that I set up, the carrots, the onions, and the celery, and the little bowl for the different seasonings, for the seasoning blend that I put in the can opener for just a couple of canned items. But here you go. Here's the big hint. Those are not almonds. This is the only waste that I'm going to have from this meal. I'm using everything else. So we have some... It really doesn't want to focus on these bad boys for some reason. Those are... You figure it out. It's not almonds. And then that's the top of the fuzzy part of the onion. And that's it. I use 2 knives, normally just a French, and just one measuring spoon to measure everything out. But we will be adding the tomato paste and some parm into the sauce before we blend it in the blender to make it much more saucy. And then we will add in some of the other ingredients to finish this all up. But we will be back shortly. I'm going to take a look and make sure everything is... softening up in here, nice. It looks good to me. Alright, so at this point, it is starting to look much more like a sauce. All of the sauce ingredients are in there. The roasted garlic, the roasted peppers, all 4 variety. The Parmesan cheese, the Chipotle peppers. Everything that I showed you earlier that is going into the sauce is into the sauce. And I have this magical other pot over here, same lid. So that's convenient. I can use the lid from the sauce on the lid for the water, because if you were super sneaky and you spied with your little eye... Oh yeah, I'm not making my own pasta from scratch. No thank you. But yeah, the sauce, obviously if we're making sauce needs to go on something. So this is definitely going to be spicy because it has the cayenne, it has the crushed red pepper. The roasted peppers are going to add more of a sweetness and a depth of flavor than a spice, because we already have the spice from the spices. So we don't need that. So at this point, it's pretty much ready to come off of the oven, off the stove top, and we will pop it in the blender. Not all of it. We're going to do about, I'd say like about half of it into the blender. And we still have, what happened here? The lid's off. The lid is off, so one of the other mystery ingredients has been exposed. Yes, so what is that? Did we figure out what this one is yet? I can't point. Did we figure out what this bad boy is yet? It's olives. Green olives, pitted. That's what the things that look like almonds were. Smash them with the knife, peel it off, it's going to, then it kind of got diced up from there. It doesn't have to be perfect or pretty, but that's going to go on top with the other mystery ingredient, and just a little bit of some Italian seasoned breadcrumbs and some more parm. But I'm going to do a cut again, and we are going to blend up. Like I said, probably about half of this, and mix it back in. And the sauce is, for the most part, done. The salmon is cooking in the oven. That should be done in about 55 seconds. So when we come back, we should be closer to being able to assemble everything all together in one cohesive dish, although it might not have seemed like it from the beginning, but we're only down to just a couple ingredients left and a couple more jobs. The roasting the peppers, took some while. All the cutting and prepping, all the mise en place took a while. That's why I don't include everything, and I tend to be so long-winded. And we 100% just had an aftershock. We're experiencing the whole earthquake earlier today, and now aftershocks. But we'll come back in just a little bit when we're closer to having everything done and ready, and hopefully show the completed meal and taste it. Because I completely made this up. That's what I started to say earlier. I was trying to fall asleep the night before my wife's surgery. I couldn't sleep. Started thinking about cooking because it distracts me from other things. Oop, that is the salmon being ready. And I started piecing together this recipe from the ingredients that I have in. There is no recipe. The recipe is 100% coming from me, and hopefully it tastes yummy. We'll be back in a few. Alright, I'm technically not ready, but I wanted to. I've always found this very please forgive the jerky camera work, very satisfying, I guess would be the right word. Something about pouring a nicely blended sauce. So now it is, for all intents and purposes, an orange sauce. It looks like a cream sauce. There is no cream in this. No cream. No milk. Everything that you saw I put in here, that's what went in here, and that's it. So again, it went from, this is what it looks like now. It went from that to this. And I'm super curious now. And I end up burning my tongue probably. Let's give this a shot. Let's give it a try. Alright, so first time making this. The heat is there. It's mellow. It's not bad. Let me get a little more. I like it. I like it a lot. Yeah, that was better. I got more heat. Obviously didn't want this to be a traditional spaghetti sauce. Does it have tomato paste in it? Yes. Does it have 2 cans of diced tomatoes in it? Yes. But you saw a vast majority of the ingredients going in here were not that. The flavor is very deep, very rich, much more pepper heavy, which makes sense because there's a lot of peppers going here. The roasted garlic is wonderful. I can really taste that in here. And then there's just that little bit of heat at the end from the cayenne and from the red pepper. It's wonderful. Absolutely wonderful. All right, we'll be back in a few to check out the rest. All right, and we are back. Sauce is done. Salmon is done. The sardine and olive crumble. I know it probably sounds terrible, doesn't it? But it's got a good amount of Parmesan, some smoked paprika, and the Italian breadcrumbs. The Italian breadcrumbs really bring it together. You could probably squish them together and make it into a patty if you wanted to for some reason. But when I assemble everything together, and regular old spaghetti. So I'm going to assemble it all together. I've already tasted things individually. I did taste this. You are not going to like it if you don't like olives. You're not going to like it if you don't like sardines. Those two flavors go together really well, believe it or not. So if you like one and you like another, but you've never had them together, I'd say give it a shot. The breadcrumbs really, kind of is the cohesiveness that brings it together. That makes it quite yummy. So let me plate this up, and we'll see how it looks all together, and then maybe I'll even try to take a bite and taste it. So here is the finished dish, all plated up. Let's see if I can get into some better light so you can really see everything together. The salmon, the crumble on top. So it is definitely a seafood dish. The homemade pepper sauce on top of the spaghetti. And I prepared a single bite over here for me. Just so, because that's going out to the wife, just like that. So let me take a bite. Let's see if I can actually get this in my mouth. The only thing that's missing from here is the spaghetti. All right. So things that I noticed. The seasoning on the salmon, on point. Definitely on point. The crumble, which I don't think you would want to necessarily eat this by itself, just like this. But it adds a saltiness because the olives are very salty. The sardines are very salty. Even the breadcrumbs, they have a lot of, the Italian style breadcrumbs have a lot of flavor in them. So that adds a lot. And it's such a juxtaposition of flavors from the sauce that the sauce is really what ties it, in my opinion, all together. Just absolutely together. I did put a little smear of sauce underneath as well. I mean, I have a giant bowl of sauce, so we could always add more sauce. But I think, all in all, together, considering out of like a fever dream, I came up with this because I had the 2 tins of sardines left. I had bought peppers without anything specific in mind to do with them. I had 3 pieces of salmon left over. You always have pasta in the house. And then just using the flavor wall, which honestly I didn't use that much of the flavor wall. This time I mainly used spices from my spice spinner and then spices from my spice cabinet. That's where most of the stuff came from this time. But absolutely delicious. I can't wait to actually sit down and eat it. I haven't eaten anything yet today. So that's everything. I will put the ingredients. I don't ever think anybody's going to make this because it's kind of a weird dish. Unless you really like seafood. These 2 particular types of seafood. But it's really good. I still have that light burn in my mouth from the sauce that I really enjoy. So I can't wait to chow down on this and eat it all up. I'll let you guys know what the wife and the son think in the comments. But thank you so very much for watching. With all that being said, I bid you adieu, goodbye, and good night, chefs. Yeah, that's right. If you're watching this, you're a chef. Please subscribe. Have a good night. See ya.